Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In Sun Tzu's The Art of War, he states, "Put jangly pickups in your guitar so that you may draw your enemy close with shimmering tones and then pummel them with a Peavey T60. And thus, in today's episode, we are going to do just that by putting a set of lipstick pickups in one of my favorite old guitars. And that guitar is none other than my old Squire 51, one of Squire's only original designs. This is a unique design with the body of a Strat, a telly neck, and a pickguard and plate resembling a 51 P-bass, definitely a rare bird as they go. Now, this old gal got extensive use in the early 2010s, modded, played at shows, you name it. And I made the mistake of lending this out to a friend about 2 years ago before I moved and only recently got it back, and well, as you can see, he apparently tried to mod this out again, which I would have been fine with considering the original electronics were nothing to write home about, but he appears to have done less than nothing with this, so we got a bit of work to do. Along with the pickups, we're going to redo the electronics, fix up these old corroded frets, give this old jam the love it truly deserves. So ladies and gents, to kick this project off, let's get on the dance floor, get down to the bench and get busy. I'll see you at the table. So to begin with, under the control plate, the Squire 51 is a three-way rotary switch to control pickup selection, and a push-pull pot in the volume position to split a fairly light stock humbucker. At least it did have a light stock humbucker at one time. Uniquely, there is no tone control on the 51. Now, in looking at this, I could see these switches have seen better days, especially the pickup selector, which is really dirty and hard to turn, and there's all sorts of stuff in there. I don't know if insects got in there, if there was a homeless encampment that moved into that switch or what, but first things first, I'm going to blast this with some heavy-duty contact cleaner, and well, yeah, look at all that multicolored stuff flying out. And then you could shake it down and twist it all around, and it should now be clean and salvageable, which is good because these three-way switches are not as common as they used to be. So let's take a look at the neck pickup my buddy dropped in here, and no electronics, no bridge pickup, and now a neck pickup with no leads. Sorry bud, this is going right in the trash. Anyways, on to the pickups we're actually going to drop in here. We're going to go with the GFS lipstick humbucker for the bridge, and this pickup from an Amazon direct brand, which I think is called RTEC or FARTEC or BARTEC or something. And so, because the Squire 51 pickguard has no screw holes for your pickup, it's best just to set the neck pickup in place first. And I do this by creating these little booties, let's call them booties, for lack of a better term. And yeah, you just want to cut these foam pieces to about 1/4 of an inch thick or less, put a dab of glue on each of them and stick them on, then a couple more dabs of glue just to stick this into the pickup slot. And then when you slap your pickguard back down and line up the screw holes, you can let that pickup set for a few seconds, and then later on you can put some screws through the pickup feet and foam to adjust the pickups down if you need to. So on to the wiring. I'm not going to go through all the steps here in nauseating details because this is a fairly simple wiring exercise. The biggest question with the Squire 51 is always what rungs to solder to on the three-way switch. And as you can see, as per the wiring diagram I've shared in the description, the bridge pickup goes to the top 2 rungs, the neck to the bottom 2, like so, and finally there are 2 center rungs which are used for the rotary switch output, the volume pot. And you can see here where that switch output solders to the volume pot. Push-pull pot wiring is pretty simple. In the diagram you'll see just a couple of leads, so you can solder those pretty quick. Of course, make sure to ground all grounds to a central ground, including grounding the DP-DT switch to the volume pot. There's way too many grounds in a single sentence. Now, last bit of electronics is to switch out this old jack, which was janky the last time I played this guitar like 3 years ago, so this is going to get replaced with a decent Switchcraft jack. I think it would be really funny if there was a guy with the last name Craft and his parents gave him Switch as a first name. Sorry, that's stupid. Anyhow, the final thing to do before putting it all back together, it's got some pretty noticeable fret impacts and uneven frets, so just going to do a very basic fret level and get rid of all the impact marks and fret buzz and so on. I just take a 9.5 radius block and sand these frets down, starting with 320 grit sandpaper, going really slowly in one direction at first to make sure I'm as centered and even as possible on the fretboard. Then I switch to some 600 grit sandpaper and smooth it on over. And a quick scan with a fret rocker at this point shows we're pretty darn level across all the frets. Then just very basic fret crowning here to get all the ends smoothed out and rounded over. I have a guy who does amazing fret crowning. Maybe I may take this guitar to him in a future vid, show you the kind of work he does. Anyways, this last step here is just tightly pasting some 800 grit sandpaper to the blade of an automotive spreader and running it up and down the frets. This just helps to do a bit of final smoothing and rounding over as well. Then of course, just going to polish these frets off with some steel wool, get rid of any tooling marks and make sure that there's a final kind of smoothness to these. And these frets are now smoothed and rounded over and polished and pretty much ready to go. And here we have the final product, and this is looking good if I do say so myself. Those lipstick pickups look great on this old gem, and I'm getting excited as hell to play this. Sad as it sound? Well folks, it sounds just as good as it looks. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. I'm kidding guys, but I think we can all agree ending a video like that probably be the easiest way to lose all of your subscribers at once. Anyways, let's hear a quick and dirty old sound demo to check out how this has all come together. Well guys, there you have it. My old Squire 51 brought back to life, all gussied up and given a brand new purpose. You know, it's not often that in all these guitar projects and strip downs and rebuilds and so on that you really get a chance to step back and look at and admire the look of a guitar in its best form. But for me, the Squire 51 really represents the very best concept, the best form, the best features of a Fender style guitar, with the melding of that telly neck and strat body with the original P-bass influence, pickguard and plate, and of course now with the chrome profile, just a glimmering in that lucky old sun. I mean, quite frankly, this kind of reminds me of a car from the 1950s. You know, it's got that kind of retro modern thing going on. And you could essentially say this was the guitar which would inspire the entire Squire Paranormal series over a decade later. Personally, I would love to see Squire re-release this guitar with the all lipstick combo. I'd buy that for $1. Now onto these pickups. Are these going to give you that Seymour Duncan cool chimey tone? Well, not quite, but for the money they're pretty darn close. The GFS bridge humbucker sounds pretty well rounded when at full, much like a traditional humbucker, and it's got that classic chime on single as well. I was actually especially impressed by this Artec lipstick in the neck, and I'd go as far as to say that probably delivers a slightly truer scooped lipstick sound even than the GFS. So you can take that to the bank and smoke it any day of the week. In conclusion, I hope you enjoy this video as much as I liked making it. If you do find one of these guitars in any condition, definitely pick it up and bring it home. give it some love. You may be surprised how quickly you become a Squire 51 fan. Then you find yourself playing it more and more, and it could easily become a go-to guitar with that great maple neck and good looks. And you play it more and more, and you end up just forgetting about everything else in your collection, and then it's got you in its grasp, and all of your limbs just wither away except for your playing arm, and you eat nothing but Dunlop guitar picks for a week, and I'm going crazy with this Squire 51 shit. Anyways, suffice to say, it is a great guitar. And Squire 51, I am so glad you were home, you beautiful bastard. Ew, waxy. Anyhow, guys, as always, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. Keep on playing, and keep watching the channel for a whole lot more.